Welcome to the Best of CET series from IMS. My name is Kumud Choudhary and today we'll be looking at course of action questions. These questions are fairly entertaining because these are the only questions in which you get to use some of your outside knowledge to arrive at the answer. Let's take a look at what this question demands from you.
If you like our content and want to experience the IMS pedagogy, you can join the IMS Zero Fee Prep programs that will give you access to concept videos, sectionals, full-length tests and more for free. You may click on the I button or on the link in the description box below to access the same. Happy learning!
If you read the instructions here, it says that there is a statement given followed by two courses of action. These courses of action are numbered 1 and 2. A course of action is a step that needs to be taken to solve a problem. So how do you decide which is the right course of action to follow? You have to say whether only the first one should follow, only the second one should follow. Could either of the courses of action be the correct one? Now here, if I were you, I would wonder what is the difference between either 1 or 2 follows versus both 1 and 2 follows. The difference is very simple. When we say either 1 or 2 follows, it means that both of them could be helpful in solving the problem, but both these courses of action cannot be taken together. They cannot both be done at the same time. But when we say both 1 and 2 follows, it means both courses of action will be helpful, but both can be done at the same time. D is fairly self-explanatory. Neither 1 nor 2 follows simply means that neither of these courses of action will help. It's very important to read the instructions before you start solving questions, because whenever we look at these questions, we try to save time. They are fairly simple and it should not take you more than 30 seconds to solve each one. Whenever you are selecting an answer, you should try to answer these two questions. First, is this course of action likely to solve the problem or improve the situation? Secondly, is it practical or ethical to take this course of action? This is a fairly important step to think about, as you will see very shortly. Let's take a look at our first question. Take some time, pause the video and see if you can arrive at an answer. So let's take a look at what our problem statement is. India's problem of population explosion is continuously increasing. Most of us would know why this is a problem, because more people or more babies are being born. So, would it help to legalize mercy killing, which is our first option? Mercy killing is deliberately killing someone who is in a lot of distress or a lot of pain or is suffering from a terminal illness. So, mercy killing literally translates to a good death, death given out of kindness. But that would not really solve the population problem, would it? Because mercy killing would not apply to a lot of people, hopefully. Let's take a look at the second option. Awareness programs about family planning should be carried out among the masses. Would this be helpful? If you're cynical, then you would say it's not likely to work at all. Nevertheless, this is likely to improve upon the situation. So, we should say that the second one is the course of action to follow and not the first. Our answer option, therefore, should be B, only 2 follows. You should use the learning in this question and apply it to the next few questions in this video. Let's take a look at the next one. Another interesting situation here. A multinational bank has received information that robbers have planned to raid its premises. What is the bank supposed to do? Give it some thought, pause the video and select your answer. Now, let's understand that the course of action that you decide upon has to be logical. It has to be rational. It should not be too extreme. So again, remember the two questions that we are supposed to answer. Is this going to solve the problem? Is this a practical step to take? Let's evaluate our options here. The security in the bank must be increased. This is a no-brainer. Of course, it should be increased. It might stop the robbery attempt. So we definitely want to select option 1 as our course of action. But let's take a look at the second one, which also looks quite good. Cash deposits in the bank must be put on hold. This seems like it is a bright thing to do. Don't take in more cash, so you're not likely to lose more cash. But let's think of it from the bank's point of view. The bank does not know when the robbery attempt is going to take place. does it make sense to not accept cash deposits until that time? So, even though it might help the problem partially, it's not a practical step to take, and that is why option 2 cannot be our course of action. So, what is our answer going to be? Again, only one follows. This next question is a fairly commonsensical one again. Continuous smoke is reported to be coming out from the 21st story apartment of a building. What should we do? Think about it and select an answer. To a lot of us, it's a fairly simple situation to react to. The fire brigade should be immediately summoned. Yes, of course we should do this because the building might be on fire. Very likely. Let's understand that the fire has not been confirmed. So the fire brigade should be summoned in case there is a fire. No problem there. Option 1 is definitely the right answer. But what about option 2? The building should be evacuated as soon as possible. Again, seems like a good and a safe bet. But let's understand that there may or may not be a fire. Plus, the smoke is limited to one particular story, not the entire building. Would it make practical sense to evacuate the entire building and cause inconvenience and confusion to all the residents? Again, since the fire is not confirmed and we do not know the extent of it, this would not be a practical step to take. So option 2 is not going to be our course of action. The answer should again be only one. This particular question is probably the most practical one over here. Increase in the number of immigrants in the US has led to a lot of native people losing their jobs. I'm sure that a lot of us have heard of this sort of a situation taking place. So, what should be done about it? Again, put in your own thoughts and try to arrive at an answer. Let's discuss the options here. What you need to be careful about is that you do not take a biased decision. Don't think of this as an Indian trying to immigrate to the US. Think of it from the problem solution point of view. Let's take a look at the first option here. People from other countries should not be allowed to enter the US. This seems a little extreme because this would mean that no one is allowed to enter the country, including tourists. This is not a practical step to take, so we can say that option 1 is definitely not our course of action. What about the second one? The natives of the US should be preferred for jobs over foreigners. Might solve the problem, but this is probably again neither practical and to some extent probably not very ethical either, because it's slightly unfair discrimination. Why so? Because whenever you're selecting a person for a job, it should not really be based on your nationality, it should be based on merit. So going by that logic, the second option also will not work. So our answer should be neither 1 nor 2 follows. There could be questions where both the courses of action are unlikely to help the situation. Therefore, we have our answer.